Hey, welcome to the Funhouse. We're going to go into the city of Chicago where there's 3 Reckless locations. We're only going to go to one. Oddly enough, it's my least favorite one. It's the one in the Loop. It's the one in the downtown area, the Warzone. So we're going to go look, and then we're going to come back to the Funhouse, and I'm going to tell you what I got along with some other releases. There's a rattlesnake above me. When you come to Chicago, a lot of people ask, what record stores should I hit? Like I said, all 3 locations of Reckless are great. As you can see here, there's so many great record stores in Chicago. It's always hard to pick one. I'm on a limited budget today. I do have a few things to sell back, so Reckless was my choice. Walking from Union Station to the Reckless Records, always plenty of nice sights to see. Alright, so here we are at Reckless Loop location. Lots of vinyl, lots of CDs, lots of DVDs. Always go right to the bins of the things that have just come into the store. I shouldn't be in a record store. I'm kind of broke these days, but you know, I do have my list of things I want, but I'm always going to find things that aren't on that list, and that's going to make up the majority of my purchases are things that I just find. And buying more CDs these days than vinyl due to prices and space issues. Love looking at the cassettes. This Black Sheep one of the first hardcore kind of rap bands I ever listened to. It's really fun. I'd love to get this on CD or vinyl. Then of course, gotta look through vinyl, always punk. I do want to get a Bad Brains record eventually. The Danzig reissues have already hit the stores. So yeah, always a fun time at Reckless Records. The Loop location, a lot of the people who come to Chicago for tourism or business, they're always in the Loop area, what we call Loop area, our downtown, our city center, if you will. And this location at 33 South Wabash is right there. So you could hit this location for sure without having to hit to the north side neighborhoods. But we do have great public transportation, so it's easy to get around the city. But yeah, so if you go to Cloudgate, the Bean, or Picasso, you're in that area. You're just like 2 blocks away from those 2 things. So yeah, that's what I did. I got trade-in value. I did have the Rat CDs. Why? Because I recently bought this. This is 5 of their albums in one pack. Digipack. And I think this cost me like $6. So yeah, so I had 3 of this 5, and I took all 3 of those 5 CDs and added it to stuff I wanted to trade in, because I don't need the original CD. I'm only really trying to get like a lot of the original vinyl stuff. CDs, I don't care if it's a reissue, remastered, I don't care. So yeah, so I traded in a bunch of stuff. They said, hey, your trade-in value comes to $40. Nice, because I knew I was going to buy a lot of stuff, and I really didn't want to buy all this stuff. There's actually part of me, it's just like trade in stuff, take the cash, which would have been less than the store credit amount, would have been about 30, and just go. Just make $30 today and go. No one watched this would have done that either. We're all crazy music fanatics, and yeah, so I went to Reckless Records. Like I said, 3 locations. I went to the Loop one, which is my least frequent location that I go to, and this is what I bought. The Pixies, their second full length from 1989. Everyone loves the Pixies. I saw them on one of their reunion tours. This is when I was living in Tampa, so probably around 06, 07-ish, I guess, and I saw the Pixies perform. It was a great show. I've never been crazy into them. I think I have like a hits compilation and another record, and now I have this. I do have this on vinyl. And since I'm not a big Pixie fan, and the vinyl could sell for a good amount, I think anywhere from $60, but I don't know. It's selling more than your average like $20 or $30 vinyl. Let's just put it that way. I do have early pressing of it, if not original pressing of it. So I will be putting that on my eBay store because I have the CD. If I want to hear those songs, I can just listen to the CD. I also got Ultravox, band formed in London. They have 8 records proper. They went through a few singers, a lot of musicians in and out of the band. The big hit is Vienna from 1981, so they're kind of seen as an 80s band. But yeah, I have 3 of their records, 2 of their records, 2 or 3 of their records. So now I have all their big songs on a CD. And those albums I'll probably keep, or I may sell, because yeah, I'm trying to trim down a little bit. Voivod, crazy heavy metal band formed in Quebec in 1982. This is their 7th album. They have lots of albums. This is from 1993. This, of course, is The Outer Limits. Usually when you do If you look up their albums from top to bottom, what's great, what's just average, but this usually gets within top 3. This is one of their top 3 greatest albums, people will say for sure. So I have this one and 2 others on vinyl, so I have 3 of their albums at least on vinyl, but now I have this one on CD. Why? Because I'm tend to listen to CDs more when I upload them to my iTunes and I'm upstairs working and so I'm listening to that more than I'm sitting down here, which is unfortunate. And what I've been listening to down here, because I like to tell people what I've been listening to, finally got around to listening to Loco Live from the Ramones. I have a few Ramones records, I have a few Ramones live album, I have one from the 70s, which is really good, but this was probably recorded, I don't know, 90-something, or early 90. I always have to fact check my ignorant self and throw up the air, but this was the first CD I ever bought of theirs, and I bought it on a long box, if you remember those. And I was glad to get this record store day release. I had a to listen to pile that was like, I don't know, 80 albums or so. And now that listen to pile is down to 3 albums. Well, plus the new stuff I got. So once I get rid of that, I can finally start pulling records from my collection. Robert Fithen, a great YouTube person, had a great video about that too, how we tend to purchase stuff, put it in, and that's it. Purchase, put it in, purchase, put it in. So how do you enjoy your collection when you're really not listening to your collection that much? Because you're always fueling this need to buy more. So I'm trying to calm down on that. I'll be happy is what I'm trying to say is when I'm done with my to playlist and just randomly pull out. Because it doesn't happen very often. I always have a stack of stuff that I bought and I need to listen to. It's crazy. Speaking about crazy, Culture Shock. Now this came from Subculture Magazine, which started, I believe, in the early 90s, perhaps late 80s. I used to write for Subculture, and I did music reviews and show reviews and stuff like that. And I was kind of their more alternative and punk person on staff. I mean, you got free music is how you got paid. Because the magazine was primarily, I should say local paper, was primarily, I'll show you one. So, 92, I think, is when Subculture started. So this was their, it's weird, because, yeah, they did have a helmet on the cover. But they seemed more of like a heavy metal kind of local paper magazine thing, and handed out for free. I think you can pick them up at stores and shows and stuff. So there's Subculture Magazine. Anyway, so they put along, and I wrote for them as their, had a column for a little while. I did primarily punk and alternative music reviews for them. I have a video on this channel about my journalist stuff. Anyway, so they did a CD compilation, which a lot of people do to help local bands at the time. This came out in 1998. This is the 3rd edition. I believe the 1st edition is hard to find and worth a little more, obviously. But yeah, just pick this up just for a few bucks. And it's got Stonehenge, which is a long-running heavy metal band from Chicago area, and about 18 other bands that I never heard of that were in the Chicago scene way back then. So I'm anxious to listen to it. You know, heavy metal. Thorns Up. Is that what they say? Horns Up, not thorns. Horns Up. Boy, I just lost heavy metal points by saying Thorns Up for no reason. The Lounge Acts. Defense. Oh, Lounge Acts. So sad. One of the greatest Chicago clubs. It was featured in that John Cusack movie, High Fidelity. They shot the scene there. That was towards the end of its career. It ran between 1987 and 2000. I was in a band, Oblivion. We were lucky enough and honored to play that great stage. I saw a lot of great shows. There was usually more of like, you know, when I was a 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, the scene is like more of an adult place because I had a lot of 21 and over shows. You know, those old people, those 21 and over crowds. But this CD compilation came out in 96 trying to help with their legal funds. Why do they have legal funds? Story of Chicago. You have a great little area, and then little hipsters move into that area, and they're like, oh, we don't like some of the things about this area. Then don't move in the first place. So the guy moved behind Lounge Acts, legendary rock club. I don't like that loud music. So he complained. They tried to screw them around with not having the correct entertainment license permits. You know, Chicago is a crazy town. And you have to pay off the right people. It's very corrupt. And obviously they were screwing him over. And then even the guy that originally filed the original complaint at one point, he's like, I didn't mean for the place to close down. You know, shut up, you little idiot. So then it turned into a little hipster place to eat, I think, for a while, and that's since closed down. But there is the Lincoln Hall now, a few doors down. And this, historically, when it was open and full-on great bands used to play there, across the street was Wax Trax Music Store, where you would see like Al Jorgensen hang out and all. It's a great place. Wow, a little history of Chicago right there. That one street alone was just great. But like everything, it gets cleaned up, too little. I don't even know what the new term for little brats like that are nowadays. I don't think it's called hipsters. I don't know. You know those people. I want to move here because it's cool. Oh no, I don't like loud music. I don't like scary neighborhoods. Shut up. Don't move anywhere then. Stay in the suburbs with your parents. Anyway, we didn't even talk about the CD. I went on a rant. Jesus Lizard's on this. Sabado's on this. Shellac. Late great Steve Albini's band. Guided by Voices. Archers of Loaf. So Superchunk. That's the bands that this place used to have. The Mekons. Just great indie rock. Why they ever let Oblivion play there with our little speedy pop punk stuff is beyond me, but we got on there once or twice. Of course, this is a vinyl channel primarily. You're turning it into a CD channel. How about we just say it's an entertainment channel? Red Scare Industries, a record label start by an ex-Fat Records employee in San Francisco, moved this thing to Chicago and got some great Chicago bands and other bands on his record label. These are recently new kind of compilations that feature all the great bands on the album label, and for 15 bucks, can't pass that up. What is it, 17 tracks for 15 bucks? Hell yeah. So this features the year from 04 to 2014. Bands like the Lillingtons, Masked Intruder, Teenage Bottle Rocket, Reaganomics, we played with them a few times. They're great. Brendan Kelly from, what's Brendan Kelly's big, I know him from Slapstick, which is a ska band from Chicago for a while. The Lawrence Arms is what people may know him from. Brendan Kelly. And I got another one. I was kind of hoping this would be red vinyl inside, and this would be black vinyl inside, but it's all black vinyl. And there was a blue one that I didn't get. I just wanted to try to limit my spending. This has The Falcon, which features Brendan Kelly, Lord Jane Grace, Sludgeworth, main reason why I bought it, The Brokedowns, Boweebles, The Holy Mess, Elway, No Trigger, Good Friend, all kinds of good stuff. This features the year from 04 to 2024. And these tracks are, I believe, exclusive to this. So it's not like, oh, we're just throwing away a song to this compilation, or we're just going to tweak the thing and say this is a remastered song. These are songs like, hey, you can have this great song and put it on your compilation. I bought some DVDs. They got lots of DVDs there. This is Steve Dahl. If you're from Chicago, you're familiar with that name. For $6. I went to the museum exhibit with this. The Disco Demolition in 1979. White Sox were playing, and they thought, hey, let's get fans in there by telling them to bring disco records, and we'll blow it up. Nothing should go wrong with that. Well, a lot did. That's the story of that. I also bought a DVD, I don't know, a few bucks. I just figured why not. It's like $3. Bond Girls Are Forever. I like James Bond. I like girls. I'm not apologizing for that. And so this is going to look at all the hot James Bond girls. I thought it would be interesting to give you Brian's Funhouse official top 3 James Bond girls. Number 3, Jinx from Die Another Day. I don't know if I like that one as much, but that was Halle Berry, the beautiful, perfect Halle Berry. I should hold this up still. Number 2, who played Solitaire from Live and Let Die. Probably the best title song from a James Bond movie for sure. Sung by the great Paul McCartney. Spam Risk, not answering that. I'm making a YouTube. You don't call me with Spam Risk. So yeah, number 2 would be Solitaire from Live and Let Die, which is Jane Seymour. She was also a little role in Battlestar Galactica. Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. And number 1, who's married to actually Ringo Starr, who's a drummer, and the Beatles. You should look them up. They're a big band. Barbara Bach played Anya Amason, and The Spy Who Loved Me. Ringo Starr's wife makes up my number 1 hot James Bond girl. Like, you needed to know that. All right, other stuff I bought besides Reckless, so that includes my Reckless purchase. What did it come out to? I had $40 credit. It would have been $80, so I paid $40. Thank you, Reckless Records, for being part of the Funhouse, as always. Little things really quick that I bought besides that at another shop. The shop that I bought that Rad album at. Fly on the Wall, 10th album from AC/DC. I had this on vinyl forever. I had the VHS of the whole fly in the wall thing from AC/DC. So yeah, their 10th album from 1985. Finally got it on CD, which means I'll finally upload it to my iTunes and I'll finally be able to listen to it a lot. Because like I said a million times, I'll listen to my iTunes more than all this vinyl records down here. Beady Eye was a band formed by like pretty much, 80% of the dudes in Oasis, including singer Liam. Formed from 2009 to 2014. They only put 2 albums out, and this is the second album of theirs. Hide Her Little Boobies, thank God. Don't want to get banned forever from YouTube. This came out, I don't know. It's their second one of the 2009 to 2014 run. This is what happens when you don't use a little bit of packing when somebody orders a CD from you on eBay and you just throw it in an envelope and not a padded envelope and don't put cardboard in it. You get this. I didn't complain because I don't like to complain, but look at that, cracked. It comes off. Oh, you can see your boobies now. Hide those. And yeah, just, I mean, come on. Put a little bit of effort in. I have a 100% rating on eBay. Why? Because I love my customers, respect my customers, and put a little bit of effort into packing stuff. Amazon could learn from me too. The Kinks. Everyone knows the Kinks. I have 4 or 5 records from the Kinks on vinyl. And I got this one on CD because I have no Kinks CDs. This is the best of 1977 to 1986. Come Dancing. That was the first exposure to them, I think, when I was watching MTV way back when. People are saying MTV is closing. Who cares? 1993 is the last year I ever cared about MTV. The Queen. The Queen. Never call him the Queen. Queen and Paul Rogers. I call him the Queen. The Led Zeppelin. The Pink Floyd. I like to add the to all the bands that I like. They said, hey, Paul, let's join. And for 5 years, he was part of hanging out with the Queen guys. Brian May and Paul Rogers were tight, man. Paul Rogers, of course, from Bad Company. Paul Rogers, of course, from The Firm. An amazing, I think, like soul rock voice. Kind of great voice on him. He hung out with the Queen guys, and in 2008 they put the Cosmos Rocks out. I bought it right when it came out. A huge Queen fan and Paul Rogers fan on vinyl, and I really haven't listened to it that much. Maybe like 3 or 4 spins. So now that it's on CD, I'll be able to listen to it more. Because I can bring my CDs in the car when I'm driving to hockey or driving to band practice. Big story in the heavy metal world. Danzig is finally reissuing. He's taken those things to a plant and pressing his first 2 albums. And actually he's repressing his first 4 albums. I bought the first 2, so let's hope they packed it, right? Because I would feel like a fool if they didn't. And this was a record. This is a great example of why reissues sometimes are really, really cool. And I like to open these nicely so I could reuse them when people buy albums from me off eBay. So this was a record that was on my list, like a grail list, to get the OG pressing. And let's look at that real fast. Yeah, so if I wanted the OG pressing, which is a gatefold from this album here, I'd be looking at average price paying about $200 from 1988, because obviously around then CDs were the new craze. Yeah, so I'm not paying $100 to $200 for this. I may have paid $100 for this if I found one in good shape. But anyway, I didn't have to. The record store had it for $31. This You Discover Music, which took you to a place. I will throw that up there that had, I think they were called Complex. They were 28 each with free shipping. So heck yeah, 28's cheaper than 31, and the free shippings I bought 2. They do now. These are sold out now. This one is sold out. It didn't take long. I'm sure flippers probably bought some and thrown some up on eBay. I only bought one for myself. I wasn't being greedy. And $28 for this one. This is the original one. This is one of Mother, Twist the Cane, all those good songs from Danzig. Yeah, 1988. Oh, it features Mother and Twist the Cane. That's a bad Glenn Danzig impression. So I got the debut reissue. Great. Keeps me from having to spend a lot. I've had this one on CD as well. When this came out, I bought it on cassette tape, and then I got it on CD. Now in 2025, finally on vinyl. This one bought on CD around kind of a few years ago, actually. And then this is, of course, the third one, How the Gods Kill. I do have his second record, his second solo record, but it's a bootleg. Shh, don't tell anyone. How the Gods Kill, Part 3. This one is also sold out. So I don't know how many were repressed, reissued, but not enough because they were bought up. And like I said, probably check on eBay and they're all over the place with jacked up prices. All right, well that does it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you've been listening to, what purchases you like, and if you bought any of those crazy high price rush tickets. Thanks for watching.